Hey, I'm Eli.
And I'm Aiden. We're ex husbands, co parents, and proud dads to two beautiful daughters.
Join us as we navigate dating after divorce, co parenting, and redefining our relationship as friends.
Because even as exes, we're still better together apart.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Better Together Apart. Hello, Aiden.
Eli, how's it going?
Good. So, to the people who do not know, we're ex-husbands. We've been together for almost 20 years, but we separated 2 years ago. Still living together, raising two daughters. And today, what's going to be fun is to talk about some of our dating horror stories. Since we separated, we both had a lot of dates. I personally was a serial dater to get used to the whole dating process that I haven't been doing for almost 20 years. So a little bit of juicy episodes. Maybe some people can relate. Maybe some people had similar dates. And maybe if you guys have better horror date stories, you can also let us know and we can maybe talk about them later on.
I think that saying horror stories is kind of putting it under a specific umbrella. I think, anything that is unique or unusual, I wouldn't want any of these dates that I'm going to mention today thinking that they were horror stories.
I'm a huge horror movie fan, so
Okay.
anything to me that is out of the ordinary is horror. But
Okay.
I get what you mean. I mean, juicy, interesting,
So talking about Juicy.
and interesting. What can we learn from those?
No, but I have a question before that. Talking about Juicy, do you want to share with the viewers about your outfit choice today?
Yeah, it's especially for our episode today because we live in Miami,
Okay.
and sometimes yes, I go to dates like this.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't
So this
see
is
us on YouTube,
the horror
I'm wearing-
story is from their side. They got a date coming in a tank top and shorts and flip flops.
pretty much. We are in Miami and it's summer and it's hot and humid. And if I go on a date, I need to feel comfortable and be who I am. And almost everything I have in my closet are tank tops and shorts. This is the Miami uniform.
I can attest to that. Yes, that's correct.
Yes, that's correct. And I think it's not that bad if you're in Miami. Obviously, I wouldn't wear that in New York.
No, you look amazing. I'm just.
Thank you.
I'm just.
You look amazing.
I'm just. Thank you. I'm just. I had to ask.
Amazing. You look amazing yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's start with one that was pretty funny. Yeah. So I went on this date with a guy. He was a doctor. He was very impressive. I don't know why, but we did not have a video chat before this date. Huge mistake. Big mistake.
Okay.
So he just seemed very like a great guy, and I said, okay, let's go to dinner. Another huge mistake. Let's go to dinner.
Let's spend money and
Let's spend money because I really thought it would be great. He had great pictures. He had a good body. It looks like he works out. It was really, really surprising. Someone who's handsome. He's into fitness like me. He's going to the gym. He has a great body. He's a doctor. It seems like he has his shit together, right?
So what happened?
So I went to the restaurant, and we went to a Greek restaurant. I love Greek food. So it's one of actually, I think you went to the same Greek food.
Which one is
in Wilton Manors.
Ethos.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So we went there
On the drive.
on the drive. Yeah, on Wilton Manors Drive.
Ethos.
So we went
Ethos. Here you go.
there. Yeah, it's a great Greek restaurant in Wilton Manors if you're in the area. But so I went to this restaurant. I was waiting for him, and then he came, and all of a sudden, it's like, "Hi, I'm beep beep beep," and I was looking at him, and then it was like, "This cannot be the same person." This person was at least 40 pounds heavier.
Wow.
Now, it wasn't like a little bit more weight than the pictures. He looked more than chubby. Now, again, it's not like I'm only into like abs and like muscly people.
Yes, you are.
also, but the delta was so big from the pictures to how he looks like.
Right.
And then he said that sentence. He said this, Eli, I'm just in my bulking phase.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. And I was like, I'm also used to being bulking phases, but I never looked like this while I was bulking. And I said, well, maybe he has his own process. I don't know. Okay, so we go and we sit. We ordered like a few dishes to share,
Okay.
like one big platter with like meat and rice and some mezes, the tzatziki, falafel, all these kind of things,
Right.
hummus, and then we're eating when we're sharing. And then once and it just didn't flow. I just felt like this is not going to work,
Yeah,
and I just wanted to get out of there already
because of the pounds.
So we finished the food, right? It was like finally this date is over, right?
Uh-huh.
And he says, well, because I'm in my bulking phase, I'm going to order another entree for me because I need to eat more.
He really was going with this like story, right?
Yes.
It was like
And I was like, so am I going to sit here, watch you eat another entree, not even a small dish, like another big entree, and just sit there and watch you eat? And then just like go. I mean, should I go
Wait,
now?
so you had appetizers.
We had entrees that we shared, and that's it. That was done. And he said he needs to eat more.
He felt that he needs more
Yeah.
food.
Because he was bulking.
But did he know from the beginning that he's going to order two
I
entrees?
don't know. I think he thought to himself, maybe this would be enough for me. Now, I'm not a huge eater, and it was a lot of food. In those Greek places, they give you like all the meats, like it's a lot.
Right.
And then, so I watched him eat for another 20 minutes, and I'm like, I think I need another drink. I ordered a drink. And then, we talked, and when you're talking with someone and this is not going to go anywhere, so you're just like, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Right? And then he finished, right? Can we get the check very, very quickly? So we went out, and then he tried to kiss me. And then I said, no, 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 no. I don't think it's going to go that way. And then he said, why, you don't want to come over? And I said, no. And that guy was a bottom. I was like, do you really want to have sex with me and be a bottom after eating all of this?
No, Eli.
Oh my God.
A bottom has a bottom station at his place. He would be ready for you.
I don't know.
It will take him 15 minutes and he will be ready.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, is the person that delusional that this date is going anywhere, especially to go to his place after?
I think it's definitely under the horror
category.
Horror date category.
Exactly.
But I do have a follow-up question to you. Would you do something different today if it happens today?
First of all, I'm not doing dinner dates anymore. I think if you meet someone, it needs to be very time limited, and usually it's a coffee or a drink. That if it doesn't go well, you can just go after one drink. Or if it goes well, you can have another drink, or then you can say, "Oh, let's grab something to like a snack or something somewhere."
Right.
If it goes well, but like sitting at the dinner, it's kind of a commitment to spend more money, spending more time with that person, and if that person is bulking, they can order more, and you have to sit there for another hour.
I think that if a guy portrays himself as one thing, and obviously he looks completely different. And I have, similar experiences, where I went to a guy. I mean, that's on the story that I plan to tell. But I went to a guy only to find out that the room is very, very dark when I entered the house.
It's always dark.
No, it's very dark. He made it dark because all these pictures on Grindr, this was a hookup, were of him just 15 years ago. It was him. Just I was like talking to a early 40 guy in the pictures, and I am meeting someone who looks like he's 55, 60 in the dark. So I'm saying that, in my opinion, when something like this happens, when someone really shows up very completely different than what he looks in the picture that he talk to you on the platform, I think it's his responsibility, his accountability, and it's perfectly fine to not accept this disrespect and to say, you know what, I don't think it's gonna work out, and just leave.
But he was bulking.
No, but unless, I mean, the there could be two options that I think in my mind that could happen to you, like in your head. One is you said, okay, maybe I'm gonna be not that judgmental, and
Yeah, that's
let's
no,
try
yeah,
it out.
yeah.
Okay.
I was in that area. And I thought maybe he's really nice, and maybe he is really bulking. And because I've seen his pictures when he was really jacked, so maybe it's his process. He will get. So I didn't want to judge that much, but I think it was his responsibility to tell me in advance or show me some recent pictures,
Yeah.
and not like send me all these jacked
So do you
pictures.
think, I have a question for you for that. Do you think that these people that are putting obviously pictures that, when I look at them, it looks like a completely different person? Do you think that they know that it looks like a completely different person, or they just are
They have to.
so delusional
They have to.
that I mean, that's a good picture of me, and let's just put it, even though it's like 15 years ago.
I talked to someone on Grinder months ago, and he was like a god, like Hercules. God, he had like 10 pack, and then we said, "Oh yeah, let's meet up and whatever." And then 2 weeks later, I was at Twist, and he came and said, "Hi Eli, this is beep beep beep. We talked on Grinder 2 weeks ago." And it was like was looking at him, it's like, and he was shirtless, and I was like, "Who are you?" I said, "I was beep beep beep. I am beep 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 beep." And I was like, "What?" And then he showed me on the phone
It's you.
his Grinder profile and showed me, "This is me." And I was like, "You do not look like this, mister. You do not." He had this big belly. It was at least 25 pounds and not muscle pounds.
You know what I see also happening recently? So guys that I mean, there is an advancement from like being completely disrespectful and putting like obvious like series of pictures from the past. What they do, they embed different pictures. Like some are recent. Let's say we're talking about
Recent
like,
with the shirt on.
no, let's say we're talking about like I don't know, 10 pictures. Okay, they send you 10 pictures. One of them is recent, and the others are throughout the last 10 years. And I can spot it. Like I see, you see like good picture, good picture, good picture, good picture, and then I see something that is bad. And then I stop and I say, you know what? This looks like a memory, like
Memorabilia.
no, like a walk in a memory lane. Which picture? Send me the one picture that looks exactly like you are today.
But that's something, and this is something. So this is what we talked about before: the importance of having a video chat
Right.
before you meet. This is so crucial. It just shows you
And if
that
they
it's
say
so
no,
important.
I'm not available, that's
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
What about
My story?
a story of one of
Okay.
your dates?
Okay, cool. So um, I also had a flop, and it's just it just an evidence that you have to follow the process that we set to ourselves.
No exceptions.
No exceptions.
Even if it's really promising.
So
No
I
exceptions.
had an exception, and I chatted with a guy uh, somewhere, I don't know where, and I said, okay, I'm gonna skip the video. I'm gonna just go ahead, and I didn't even talk much about me and what I'm looking for. I said, let's go for a date. Let's go for an in-person date. So the guy doesn't know anything about me. He knows nothing about my marital status, having kids, being, having a ex-husband, boyfriend, who I am, nothing. And for some reason, I went there. So we're sitting down for like a light dinner, which was fun, like a tapas bar kind
Oh
of
yeah,
thing.
okay.
And it was fun. It was actually fun, and I can understand how I was intrigued on like skipping everything else. And at one point, I'm telling him about what I'm looking for and who I am. And once I started describing my personality, I'm saying I'm kind and I'm looking for peaceful ways to doing things, and a few more things in that
You're
neighborhood.
so zen.
He says, Aiden, stop. Based on what you're telling me about yourself, you should really look closely if you have anyone toxic around you in your life.
Maybe he talked about me.
Maybe he didn't. He based that just on my personality. So he didn't know anything about you at that point, or any other individual. And then I was intrigued, and I said, what do you mean? And I was like asking some more questions, and slowly, it felt like I am in a therapy session. So I'm
Ooh.
sitting in an in-person date, which was very fun at the beginning, and all of a sudden, he was giving me some signals that made me curious about, oh, why are you asking this? Like, what do you know? And, what does that mean? And so at one point, I'm, I'm like into this like therapy with him. And I am aware. I am aware that I'm fucking up this date. I mean, there is no way. It's like I need to choose. Either I'm gonna do a date. Yeah, I'm gonna like push this interesting discussion that we had about the therapy aside, or I'm gonna be continuing what I think he was into. He was into providing me this therapy.
Was he a counselor, like a therapist? Is that his
No,
profession?
it's not. It's like he's very into that. So I think that he felt good, like being in that position, with me. Uh, and I was, to be honest, I was curious about, like, to find out more about it, because he intrigued me enough, and I picked the therapy. I just basically converted the date into a therapy session. He did give me one of my biggest gift in life. Eventually, I mean, with his insights, and but I did it with my eyes open. I knew that I'm gonna be fuck. I mean, I knew it's ending at this point in time, and the fact of the matter is that we never talked or chatted afterwards, even not a single time.
So a few things. Toxic. I love toxic as long as it's Britney's. Uh, Second, you got a free therapy session. I think it's a startup. We should look for therapists to date and then make it kind of a therapy session. You don't have to pay.
Yeah, I mean,
But if you had a really good experience, that is great. But this is not what you expected to have. You wanted a date, but at the end of the day,
I wanted a date. I was actually having up until that point, I was having fun with him. So I was actually envisioning, a potential, follow up and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it ended. It couldn't.
once you realize you're so effed up, it was like, no, I'm not.
No, it was like completely a therapy session. I was like shocked. I was, yeah, with all the elements of that usually comes with a therapy session. We had them.
I think a few things we can learn from both stories in that sense that don't make exceptions. Just do everything that we usually do. Vet the person, verify, do a video chat before. Also, I always say that I'm divorced with kids. I always say that I don't want to be on a date where I share on the date that I have kids, and then they're like, okay, this is a deal breaker for me. So I try to avoid that because I've had that before. So it's just a waste of time because for some people, and I'm not a judgmental person ish, but I
What
prefer
do
to
you mean? You
say,
are the most judgmental person I know.
no, I'm not.
Like judgment. Like if I open Wikipedia, under judgmental, it has this your picture.
Okay, I'm more judgmental about myself.
No,
But
but about everyone else too. Yes,
no,
you are.
no. But okay, if that's the thing you think, that's fine. Obviously, this is going to a place where we might have a fight anytime soon. But no, I'm saying these things are very, very important. And to me, I'd rather share those things. I also share those things on my Tinder and Hinge. on my dating apps that are not for hookups because I want people to know in advance. So there's no like questioning, and I've seen
On a
people.
hookup, it's actually an advantage. They can call you daddy.
But you know what is the my turn off, my big turn off is when someone calls me daddy. I have two daughters. I'm real daddy. They call me daddy. I don't need to hear daddy in the bedroom.
Yeah, and sometimes it's in Spanish here in Miami.
Oh, papi,
Papi, yeah,
papi,
papi.
papi chulo. Yes, yes.
Nice.
Any other insights?
Yeah, insights or another
No,
story?
not a story. About like what can we learn from these dating stories?
Yeah, no, I mean listen, I never I was I very rarely uh, bypass my own process, and every time that I do it, I fuck up.
And that's a big lesson.
Yeah, that's a big lesson.
As much as someone is impressive, they're like, wow, they have it all. They seem like they have their shit together. Don't mess with the process.
There's a yeah. What is it? I forgot it. I'm blanking
Start
out.
over again.
Um, trust the process. Okay, so
Yes.
this is the saying. It's a very common saying. Many spiritual people are saying that trust the process.
Yeah.
So we will implement. We will take this same message also to our actual dating process.
And maybe I'm doing my bulking wrong. Maybe I need to just like eat and eat and eat and gain like 40 pounds.
So maybe let's find the guy and have him have him. Okay, Mister Eli's date. You know
Doctor Who.
you know who you are. Well, I know who the guy is.
No, you don't.
I know. I know.
We can talk about it later.
I mean, now
we
that
can compare notes.
now that you're telling me, now that you're telling me the details, I know the fucking guy is the
we
guy.
can compare notes later.
Okay, Mister Bulking Guy, do you want to come to show your body, the bulking body, in our next episode? You're
Well,
welcome.
He looked in the pictures great, so I know he can. But maybe he will surprise us. Maybe he's like really hot right now, and
Yeah.
I missed something
Even
really
no,
bad.
but even that's not the point. The point is that he's meeting someone that you only saw his pictures from the past. So you were very surprised. Why do you wanna? I mean, why do you want to? The first impression that you are giving someone is a very big surprise and speechless moment. You want them to be connected to you. You want them to be at their best to assess if there is like a good relationship here.
And you said that in a previous episode that how important it is to have recent pictures because even if it's a good surprise, any surprise, I think it's not good.
Yeah.
If it's someone that looks very
No,
different,
if it's a good surprise, it's good.
But sometimes, yeah. But I just in general, I hate surprises in life. I hate surprises at work, my personal life. I hate surprises. He knows that if I,
No, I'll say it.
Yeah.
You told me for 20 years that if I will do a surprise birthday party for you, you'll divorce me.
Yeah.
But look what happened. You divorced me in any case.
Right. Yeah. You were.
I didn't do it. I didn't do any of the years. I didn't.
I hate birthday surprise parties.
It's the same result.
I know the same results. Well, what we can learn from this, I don't know. But for my future boyfriend, husband, I don't like birthday surprise parties. I don't like surprises at all.
But it has nothing to do if you're going to be getting a divorce or not.
That's true.
That's separate.
So that's the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Go write a 5-star review in all platforms. If you want to ask us questions, please ask us through.
Yeah, maybe let's open this topic to the audience and the viewers. If this is interesting, we can come up with more stories.
Oh yeah, we have many more stories.
So
this is just part 1 of our dating stories. We will have more of those.
But let us know if they want to hear more.
Also, if they have any of their own that we can share, that would be interesting too. So you can comment on Spotify or direct message us at our Instagram. We are better together apart. So please share this podcast with other people who might enjoy this as well. and reach out with everything. We'd love to hear your comments, your questions, your suggestions. Thank you very much. Have a good one.